I want to talk to you, 'cause I need someone to listen. I want to talk to you, 'cause I have so much on my mind. I want to talk with Vanessa. I love you. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Talk with Vanessa with your favorite lady, Vanessa. Hope you're having a great day. Not to worry, even if you're not, I'm about to make it a whole lot better. Have I told you lately that I love you? Yes, I do, and I missed you so much. You may not be where you want to be in your journey to life, but I want you to know that don't give up on you. Then you'll certainly get to your desired destination. Like is the custom of this program, we are all about keeping you informed, but ultimately inspired. Today's story is that of a 19-year-old who contemplated suicide a few times when he couldn't take any more of the rejections he had experienced in life. Now, on the 4th of November 2017, this young man by the name Lemuel reached out to me on Facebook after going mute for 2 whole months as a result of depression he was going through. After close counseling, he is ready to share a tiny bit of his experience and his story, and this story is very informative and revealing. You will know in a bit, so stay tuned to the program and we'll be giving you more information in a bit. The adult you are today is a reflection of your life experiences. Your life could either improve or worsen based on the kind of advice that you get.
I have a dream.
Sound counsel could save you time, energy, money, and even your life sometimes. My name is Vanessa, and I would love to be your friend. Keep loving.
I found a love.
Keep living. Keep enjoying.
Listen to the Talk with Vanessa. Learn from real life experiences and get counsel from experts on several issues.
Beautiful and sweet.
Now let's welcome Lemuel to share his story and his bravery. Welcome, Lemuel.
Thank you, Vanessa. Thank you for having me.
It's good to have you. I want to tell you firstly that what you're doing is very brave of you. I mean, with the superficiality of media, it's easy to downplay some of these things. But I'm glad that you've taken the step and you want to tell your story. And I assure you that what you're doing today will help someone be better and possibly save someone who is thinking of committing suicide next. Let's do the first things first. Let's start with the events that led up to the depression you experienced last year.
Okay, there were a lot of issues that actually led to that point where I even considered giving up. But I would like to, just because of our time, I would like to restrict them to just 5 main points.
Okay.
So first, I grew up in Lagos.
Okay.
And had most of my, in fact, I was born and bred in Lagos actually.
Okay.
So I did my secondary school and my primary school there. So, but we had to come, when I say we, I mean my mother and I.
Okay.
We had to come down to Enugu in 2015.
Okay.
Because we were having some issues with where we're staying in Lagos.
Okay.
So
when you say your mom and you, it means your daddy is not in the picture?
I wouldn't really say he's in the picture.
Okay, I mean that's a story for another day. So your father is not an integral part of your life?
No, he isn't.
Okay, continue.
So getting down to Enugu, I felt like a fish out of water.
Okay.
I had left everything that was familiar to me.
Okay.
My friends, hobbies,
Okay.
things I normally did to just keep myself busy.
Okay.
They were just pulled off from me. So it was tough trying to start again.
Okay.
So because of the place I was coming from, I had difficulties making friends.
Okay.
Of course, we all know the standard of education and basically life in Lagos. And compared to what we're seeing in Enugu, it's like comparing David to Goliath.
It's not that bad. I don't think so. I just feel maybe you have not been privileged or exposed to those cream la cream people that know what's up like you do in Enugu. I mean, don't talk down at us. Sorry, I'm just messing with you. Continue.
Getting down to Enugu, there was just this collective expectation that, okay, he's not a kid, he's big enough, he'll fit in. And I really tried, at least in my own little way. I tried. I've always been this sort of person who's not so out there, as in so social. Okay. I'm not a social
person.
Yeah, I'm not a social person, but
you try.
Yeah, I try.
You try.
So it was very tough making friends. It was very tough trying to find new things to keep myself. We all know an idle mind is the devil's workshop. I mean, and I'm this sort of person who doesn't like staying idle. Okay. So I like to engage myself, even if I'm in a place where I can't do anything physically. I like to engage myself in my thoughts. Okay. So it was just very hard coming from a very different background and trying to blend in with those beside me. Then
you said there were 5 things. What are the other 4 things?
Then we were actually staying at the house of a family, my grandma's house specifically. So it was very tough dealing with her mentality on how a person my age should behave under various circumstances compared to what I had been taught and what I had seen others do around me while growing up. So there was always this clash of wills around the house. Who was supposed to do this, who was supposed to do one chore or the other at one particular point in time. It was just like they were trying to run my life for me, and I rebelled. Yeah, I rebelled. I got into clashes with them. Not physical. But just I'm sure
stubborn.
You get one. Yeah,
I do. I get.
They considered I was obstinate. I was heady. So it was very tough. And again, they were also considering. They were also putting it that, considering the fact that we were Pentecostals and they were Catholics, that we were always trying to prove we knew God more than them. So all these little things,
pettiness,
it's really
got to you.
It got to me, and it really caused a rift between myself and eventually my mother. But I won't go to that today.
Yes, please.
So another issue that lent a great hand to the depression was that I had been trying to get into the university. Yeah. And I've always been this sort of person. I don't do exam malpractice or all this. Is it Miracle Center or what they call it? I've seen people do that, but I don't do that. So it's very tough when I see myself pass exams and the post that I deserve is given to another person, probably because you know somebody or something.
So let me pause you a little bit. What was your JAMB score last year?
I actually had one of the top 46 JAMB scores in the whole of the Federation, according to the reports the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board printed. Yeah. Last year. I actually scored 300 over 400.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And you're still not in the university?
I'm not.
We'll get into that. Okay, so what's the third thing?
Considering, as I said, that I had this clash of wills with my family members.
It sounded more like you felt not understood.
Yeah, I felt they didn't really care about my well-being. That they just, they were just being kind to me, considering what they thought I had to offer them. Because I'm the sort of person who wants to know everything or who wants to know something about everything. So whenever they needed to repair things at home, like some electronic gadgets, most of the times they bring it to me and they'll tell me thank you and things like that. So I just felt
used.
Yeah, I felt used. I felt thoroughly used. And I don't know whether they thought it was because we were staying in their house. They didn't give any heed to any idea or anything I preferred when they were trying to make decisions. So no one was listening to me.
Considered.
Yeah. So it was. It felt like I didn't even have a voice.
Wow.
At one point. So that was what led to me just saying, okay, well, if that's how you see it, then what's the need talking?
And that was how you became mute for 2 whole months.
Yeah.
Did your mouth smell? Sorry. I have always wanted to ask you that question.
Okay, no.
Because you brushed.
Yeah, I brushed.
At least. Okay, but you weren't speaking to anyone.
No, I wasn't speaking to anyone.
Now, for you who's listening right now, this is where I'm about to take you on a journey into the mind of someone who has been suicidal. We've heard about cases of issues of people attempting suicide, but I've never been this close to someone who has actually come close but didn't. And I know there were many reasons, or things that stopped him from eventually taking his own life. So I'm about to walk you through the journey with him, giving you a sneak peek into the mind of someone who is suicidal, because you might have someone like him around you, but you've taken the signs for granted. I will be sharing that with you after this short break. The adult you are today is a reflection of your life experiences. Your life could either improve or worsen based on the kind of advice that you get.
I have a dream.
Sound counsel could save you time, energy, money, and even your life sometimes. My name is Vanessa, and I would love to be your friend. Keep loving.
I found a love.
Keep living. Keep enjoying.
Listen to The Talk with Vanessa. Learn from real life experiences and get counsel from experts on several issues.
Beautiful and sweet.
Welcome back. You're still listening to The Talk with Vanessa with your favorite lady, Vanessa, and I still have Lemuel right here with me. Lemuel is a brave 19-year-old who has been through a lot and is giving us just a little bit of what he has experienced, events that led up to depression. I mean, when you say depression, it's not an instantaneous thing. It takes time. It was a build-up of so many things that he has gone through, and he has walked us through some of those things, and now he's about to tell us at that point what goes on in the mind of someone who is thinking suicide, who just doesn't want to live anymore. Welcome back, Lemuel, to the show.
Yeah.
So now you know the question I'm about to ask, so tell us, what was it like? What was the first time you thought about taking your life? What were you thinking?
First of all, I would like, as someone who has read a lot of books, the concept of suicide is not foreign to me, but I've always looked at it as something I read or just see in the movies or something. So it was scary. I mean, you don't casually think about taking life, for that, not to even speak of your own life for that matter.
So it wasn't even an easy decision?
It wasn't at all. When I became mute, I started writing. Because something just needed, I just felt something needed to come out of me, and since it couldn't come out through my mouth, I started writing. So I kept a diary at that point in time. I was writing down some of my thoughts, and most of the thoughts I had kept going back to happy experiences I had in Lagos. So I was thinking about Lagos 90% of the whole
time.
Day. Yeah. And I isolated myself from everyone. I would just stay on my own. Maybe after doing the necessary chores, I would just stay on my own, reading, because I continued reading. I was reading novels, reading textbooks. So I'll just stay reading inside. Then it was scary.
Are you finding it difficult to say this?
No. But
Okay.
it's just the memory is
Still frightening.
scary. Some of the things that went through my mind, and
That's what we want to know. What kinds of things went through your mind? All through this experience, nobody around you knew you were thinking all of this, or you were, at the verge of, taking your own life. Nobody knew. Nobody sensed anything.
nobody. I think my mom had an inkling because she's a health worker. She's a
Okay.
nurse actually.
Okay.
So I think maybe she noticed some signs.
Okay.
But I think she didn't quite know what to do
Okay.
because I was actually closer to my mother when we were in Lagos
Okay.
because of the situation of my parents' marriage.
Okay.
So I don't want to go into that now.
Yeah.
But I was pretty much closer to her then.
Okay.
But when we came down to Enugu, she just sort of felt. I felt she moved closer to her
relatives.
her mother, and
You just felt alone.
I felt.
And that's a terrible place to be. I just feel probably what happened to your mom was that she was also dealing with something, and she needed that comfort, that succor. That it was, it may not have been something intentional. It was just an oversight that she forgot that you also had things that you were dealing with. She may have been going through a lot, on her own, and having her siblings around, probably helped her feel better to cope with what she was going through, and that may have made it easy for her to have seemingly neglected you at the time. But I'm sure your mom loves you a great deal, and I know you don't have any doubt about that, right?
No, I don't have any doubts. I know she does.
Okay, so it's scary to want to take your own life.
After I tried again that year to get into the university, and the same story repeated itself, I got angry. Actually, I mean, you don't frustrate a person who is deserving of a position and expect the person not to react.
I understand.
And since I'm not a violent person who would go about maybe causing trouble in the society, I had to take it out somehow.
Okay.
So it was just scary. Combining that with going into depression was very scary. It was very scary. Some of the things my mind conjured up, I can't
Things
share
like
them.
what? Okay.
No, they are too graphic. I can't share them on air.
Okay.
So it was very scary. And again,
Okay.
I've always been a person who loves the internet because I see it as, wow, this is just a vast collection of knowledge at your fingertips.
Yeah.
So I basically use the internet almost every day,
Okay.
if I can manage it.
Okay.
So I actually went online to see some of the tips. When I discovered actually that what was going on with me was depression,
Okay.
I decided to see what I could actually do
Okay.
to get out of it.
Okay.
But as good as the internet has good sides, it also has bad sides.
Okay.
So I actually got into some websites that actually promoted somebody taking their own life.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, there are a lot of sites like that.
Wow.
There are sites that even, I mean, we see school shootings every day in the US, and you hear this person already had a blog where it was, I mean, those blogs are accessible by anyone through Google. You can
Are
get
you
into
serious?
almost, yeah.
Yeah, when we were in counseling, you told me something about suicide pact, and that scared me. I want you to, for the benefit of anyone who's listening right now, how did you get to that point?
Okay, it was during this time that I started searching the web
Okay.
to see if I could do something about my situation.
Okay. Tell me about the suicide pact.
Okay.
How you got to that point.
Okay, let me begin by telling you what a suicide pact is. A pact actually is an agreement between two or more people.
Okay.
So basically, a suicide pact is an agreement between two people to take their own lives at a particular point in time simultaneously.
And you saw this information on the internet.
Yeah.
And there was somebody who was willing to die at a time that you would have chosen if you went into that pact with the person.
You see, when you're suicidal, it's important that you try to screen what gets into your head, because I actually saw a picture on the internet.
Okay.
Where I think they wrote suicidal people are angels who want to go home. And things like that. So if you allow those things get into your head, and then you now see an opportunity in a site that will pair you with someone who is feeling like you, I think at that point you're very vulnerable.
Okay.
And it just takes a gentle nudge to tip you off the edge.
Okay. Now, for want of time, at what point did you now decide to send me that email on Facebook?
Okay, it was, I don't know, while I was thinking about this suicide issue, I still felt there was something inside me that was fighting the compulsion to kill myself.
Okay.
It felt like there was something inside me that didn't want to die.
Okay.
I actually tried writing a suicide note 3 times.
Wow.
But I never succeeded in writing a word.
Wow.
Yeah. I would get a sheet of paper, place it in front of me, and want to start writing. My hands would be shaking, the pen would fall off, and I would just burst into tears.
Oh.
I did that 3 good times before.
Wow.
I now went on the internet to look for counseling.
Okay.
Just someone to talk to.
Okay.
Because most of my friends who were in Lagos, most of them had moved on with their lives.
Okay.
So we're not as palsy as we
used to be. Okay.
Yeah. So some of them who were in the university, with the stress of college and everything. So I just decided to at least seek counseling. So I actually saw a website that offered counseling on various mundane issues of life.
Okay.
But they were charging, it was an American site anyway.
Okay.
So they were charging
in dollars.
They were charging in dollars.
And because you did not have the money.
I actually did something crazy at that point.
Okay.
During the free trial, because when you sign up, they give you a free trial for some period of time. So during the free trial, they paired me up with a psychologist. Okay. So I just got her name and went on a Google Ultimate search on social media to look for her, to appeal to her personally. Okay. But I don't think she uses her social media platform regularly. So anyway, one evening, I was just, since I wasn't talking to anyone, and at that point in time, as I said, I was avoiding company of my family and relatives. So I didn't watch TV with them. I didn't do anything with them at all, including eating. So one evening, I tuned into a radio station that I think it should be on a Sunday night, something like that. So I actually heard you on the radio offering advice to another young person who had issues with speaking in public. And I began to have it, around that time I became suicidal, I began to have it in my head that I write better than I speak. Because there was no leverage to measure my speaking anymore since I was mute. So, and I wanted to start talking again. Because it was really affecting my relationship with people. Because when you're talking to me and I'm using gestures you'll be like, what's wrong with this person? So when I heard the advice and your suggestion you gave to the person, I felt, oh wow, this is different from other late night shows
Okay.
I've heard on radio
Okay.
in the East. So I said, let me reach out to you.
Okay.
At least before I give in to this compulsion, let it be that I did my very best.
Okay.
At least let me say I tried.
Whew. And here we are. You ain't dying, Lemuel. Not after you've met an awesome personality like myself. Please promise me that you're not going to think that anymore.
No.
Okay. It's been an amazing time with you, Lemuel. And there's so much to say, but we have little time. This story is not just for the young person who is listening to me right now. This story is for a parent, an intending parent. There is a lot. I want you to listen to this podcast over and over again because there's a lot that he said. I could hear a child who felt rejected, who felt alone. I mean, it's not just a rejection coming from parents now, but life, he feels like at every attempt, he makes in life to try to live a certain level, to break the status quo. He always felt turned down, and that is not a good place to be. And especially for a young guy his age, a lot of young people between these ages, have struggles, identity crisis, and it's a very critical point in every young person's life that you need to pay critical attention. Now that you hear that information is just at the fingertips, you never know what they're reading or what they're assessing at any given time. You can't you can't stop that from happening. You can't stop that revolution. What you can do is to be available, a listening ear, a kind soul, someone who cares, someone who is not too protective or too critical. Let's pay more attention, listen, observe, take nothing for granted, be less critical and more supportive. It was a very brief thing you did today, and I still see you a little shaken up, but thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, and before I go, I would like to say to someone who's going through what
you went through,
what I went through, that as I said, there are certain information you don't need.
Okay.
At that point when you're vulnerable.
Knowing too much could get you hurt.
Yeah.
A songwriter once said that.
It was so right.
Yes. So, It's been awesome. It's been awesome having you here. Don't forget to follow us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at The Talk with Vanessa, or you can send a message to thetalkwithvanessa@gmail.com. I'm a listening ear. I'm ready to listen to you. If I don't have the solutions to your problem, I can channel you to the expert and appropriate authorities to take care of that situation. But the most important thing I took out from this story today is to talk to someone. Don't have it all in, because one day you just implode, and it may be disastrous. The consequences may be very dire. This is where I draw the curtains on today's edition of The Talk with Vanessa. Many thanks to my production team led by King Louis Egure. Until I come your way next time, keep loving, keep living, keep enjoying. Hasta la vista. The adult you are today is a reflection of your life experiences. Your life could either improve or worsen based on the kind of advice that you get.
I have a dream.
Sound counsel could save you time, energy, money, and even your life sometimes. My name is Vanessa, and I would love to be your friend. Keep loving.
I found a love.
Keep living. Keep enjoying.
Listen to The Talk with Vanessa. Learn from real life experiences and get counsel from experts on several issues.
Beautiful and sweet.